All right, welcome back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, thank you so much for joining. We're gonna cover the news topics like we always do, the hot button issues, the things that you need to know, not things that caught on fire and not who died. We don't need to know that stuff. Okay, we got a lot to cover, so I'm gonna jump right in. I'm gonna start with the hot topic, the hot button issue of the day, and that is the quarry that was proposed for Southwest Fort Wayne. I live Southwest Fort Wayne, and I can assure you residents were not happy about this quarry. There was a lot of to-do, a lot of back and forth, and the Allen County Board of Zoning Appeals recently unanimously voted it down, so it is not happening. There were 57 people that showed up to speak. It took over 2 hours, and it took getting to person number 46 for someone to say something positive. They felt it would be good for jobs and economic development. So for those of you not familiar with this project, this was gonna be located again, Southwest Fort Wayne off Homestead Road, kind of between Homestead, Ernest, 69, like just north of the new IU Hospital, IU Health Hospital, if you know where that is. This was proposed by the Heritage Group. I believe they own 30 other quarries, so this is a business they're very familiar with. And this was gonna be 1,604 acres around the Little River Valley with a proposed 710 acres of industrial and quarry operations. This was gonna be an open pit limestone, asphalt, and concrete batching plant. And it was gonna be, there was a lot of speculation that it was gonna be, 80 to 100 years, in the works. So this was something that was gonna be around for a very long time. And the main concern was air, noise, and water pollution. Basically pollution and disturbing the residents around, especially, you've got IU Health right there. They were very against this. Other people that came out to speak against it were the CEO of Lutheran Hospital, Liberty Mills Apartments, and Bruce Kingsbury, who said he had grave concerns for the Little River Valley, which is, a lot of nature preserve. There's a creek that runs through there. Pretty much everyone I talked to in the area was against it. So it has been unanimously shot down. Even a data analyst, they didn't quote who it was, but a data analyst said that it would have a net negative impact. So even though it would bring jobs, and the damage that it would do would ultimately harm the city. So my take, I personally don't feel like I'm educated enough. I mean, I read some of the things, there were some websites dedicated to stopping the quarry, and I read up on some of that, but I always take that with a grain of salt when you've got, one person saying it's fine, another person saying it's not fine, because the developers and the Heritage Group are saying that this was not going to be causing the problems that other people said it would. Ultimately, they could probably find somewhere else to put a quarry, to be very frank. So I'm okay with it, and hopefully this was a good thing for the city. Before we go any further, make sure you subscribe. Jake in Fort Wayne, I'm keeping you updated with all things Fort Wayne, and if you're looking to move to the area, I'm definitely looking to connect with you. My info is below. If you disagree with anything I'm talking about, please leave a comment. This isn't just supposed to be me talking. I want dialogue. I want people's opinions. So whether you agree or disagree, please leave a comment. That way other people coming to the video can see other people's opinions as well. All right, now some interesting news. I think it's good news. Some people might not, but Fort Wayne was recently named the fastest growing large city in the Midwest. And we've been on these rankings for a long time, but this is a lot of opinion based. This is census data. So we grew the most compared to other cities in the Midwest that have more than 250,000 people. And I as a real estate agent, with a YouTube channel, I definitely meet a lot of people that are moving here. I sell property that, I have listings that get sold by people that are moving here. So this news doesn't, well, I shouldn't say it doesn't surprise me at all. I'm surprised we're the fastest growing, but it doesn't surprise me that we're up there. So, I've been experiencing this quite a bit. Nationwide, we are the 26th fastest growing city. So fastest in the Midwest, 26th nationwide. They were also saying that areas like Huntertown, New Haven, Woodburn, Grable, and Leo saw the most growth. That doesn't surprise me either. I think that's fueled both people moving here, but also there's a lot of people moving out to those areas that think Fort Wayne's getting a little too busy, a little too crowded, a little too expensive. They're starting to move more to the periphery. So that's a trend that I've been seeing as well. So Fort Wayne itself has 273,203 people right now in the metro area. So, some of the surrounding counties, the small towns that we just mentioned, there's an estimated 466,000 people. So it's a little bit spread out than most big cities, but there are a lot of people here in Fort Wayne, maybe more than people even realize. So I expect that trend to continue. This news doesn't surprise me at all. Okay, and so kind of piggybacking right off that is for the 9th straight year, Fort Wayne has had a net positive migration. So, you know, that trend started in 2017. Before that, for, I don't know the exact number, but I believe it was like 40, 50 years, we were growing birth over death. So basically more people were born than died, and that's how our population grew, but more people were moving away than moving here. Well, in 2017, that changed. And I think that was price point related. I think that was definitely politics related. This is a wonderful, safe place to raise a family. I think that is a factor. So in 2017, first year of net positive migration, and now 9 years straight. So a little bit of data you might find interesting. The biggest year for growth was in 2019. There was 1,514 people that moved here versus moved away. That was also the year I moved here. Trendsetter, I don't know, that's for you guys to decide. In 2025, we had 806 more people moved here than moved away. So the numbers have fluctuated a little bit. Some years, I think it was just a couple hundred. Again, last year was 806, and the biggest was 1,500 in the last 9 years. Within the 11 county region in Northeast Indiana, 76% of all the new residents were added in Allen County. So Allen County definitely saw the bulk of that relocation, and it makes sense. That's, you know, where the jobs are. That's where the activities, the entertainment, the restaurants, that kind of thing. So I personally think this trend is going to continue based on what I'm seeing. You know, this YouTube channel has been very insightful for me with having how many, now I'm used to it, but at first I was very surprised at how many people were looking to move here. But then on the other hand, I'm kind of not, because I did the same thing. You know, I moved away, and the things that attracted me back are the same things that are attracting other people back when I talk to them. So I think that's very cool. I think it's good news. If you want the town to stay small, you may want to move out to Whitley County or something, because I don't think this trend is stopping. All right, so a few months back, I touched on Canterbury Green apartments selling. It was the biggest sale in the state of Indiana. I thought that was really cool. I was excited to see what they were going to do with it. Well, one of the things they're doing with it is shutting down the golf course. So kind of a bummer. I know this news is probably a little old at this point, but if you didn't know, the Canterbury Green golf course is being shut down. Frankly, it hasn't been in the best shape over the last few years, really since I moved back to town in 2019. It's been, I think I played out there twice for videos, and it was a little rough, like more than the rough, it was rough in general. So not totally surprising, but still, it's a piece of Fort Wayne history. You know, it was founded in 1966. A lot of people played there in leagues and stuff like that. You know, I suspect they're gonna be making apartment buildings out of it. I think that's what they're gonna end up doing. I haven't read that yet, but that would be my assumption. So RIP Canterbury Green Golf Course. Okay, next topic, Mayor Sharon Tucker and City of Fort Wayne Public Works Division announced a $37 million investment into infrastructure. So they're gonna be pouring, you know, you've got a growing city, you've got all these people moving here. We gotta make sure our infrastructure, you know, sees the proper investment. So I'm gonna touch base on a couple things. I don't wanna get too long-winded. You can go to City of Fort Wayne's website if you wanna check it out yourself. But a few highlights, you know, there's 2 new trail projects and a trail bridge crossing, 11 traffic projects, some sidewalk repairs, ADA curb ramp packages. That's a good thing. So my mother used to work for the City of Fort Wayne, and something she learned about was that Fort Wayne was, I don't know the word, like very not ADA compliant. It was not very handicap accessible, not very wheelchair friendly. And it's very expensive to retrofit all this stuff, but we're slowly working on it. So I definitely think that's good money well spent. So they're gonna be taking care of some trip hazard elimination, also a good thing, street lights, you know, that type of thing. But again, if you want a full breakdown of where your tax dollars are going, you can go to City of Fort Wayne and check it out. Last topic, the City of Fort Wayne approved an $8.15 million bond for Village of Arneo. That, if you're not familiar, is a very cool new project, a cool new neighborhood. I'm surprised, I've been meaning to do a video about it. I'll do a more detailed breakdown, but basically it's a new neighborhood, north side of town, kind of near Clinton, 469 and 69, right kind of there where they all interchange. You've probably seen the Tippmann building. Everybody thought it was a Topgolf. It's not Topgolf, it's a Tippmann Group new headquarters being built there. But this is gonna be kind of like a live live, work, play community. When I lived in Orlando, there was something called Baldwin Park that was very similar to, I think, what they're going for. So right now, the residential piece, there's gonna be luxury homes. I've toured a couple myself with some buyers. They are awesome. Like, these are really, really nice houses. And I'll be frank, I was kind of surprised they were building luxury homes in that location because of all that, you know, those big highways and traffic and everything. But once I was back in there, I kind of got it. Like, it's carved out of the woods, it's beautiful. When I was back far enough, the road noise wasn't an issue. So there will be some luxury homes, there's gonna be apartment buildings, there's gonna be townhomes, there's gonna be 80,000 square feet of commercial space. And then they said eventually as it builds out, they think they're gonna add a hotel and maybe some restaurants as soon as next year. And then it's also gonna be anchored by Back 9, which is similar to Topgolf. So that's very cool. So and from what I saw, it'll have some indoor golf simulators, and then it'll have, you know, for the summer months or the warmer months, the outdoor bays where you can hit at targets. And I've been to Topgolf. I used to have a membership when I was in Orlando, and that was super fun. So this bond is intended to help the developer cover the cost of infrastructure, you know, utilities, that kind of thing. They're saying this is coming from state funds, and the city is working as a pass-through, but the developer is on the hook to pay this back, and they are not using taxpayer funds to fund this bond. While I'm very excited about the project, I guess maybe this is my own ignorance speaking, but I never let that stop me. You know, they say it's not taxpayer funded, but it's state funds. Well, a state government doesn't have their own money either. They're running off taxpayer dollars, and God forbid if the developer went bankrupt, which happened a lot in Orlando when I lived down there. A lot of developers on new developments went bankrupt. Who's paying this money back, and who, you know, so but again, this might just be above my pay grade on how this normally works, but I was interested to see that we were issuing bonds, you know, for these new developments. But the idea is that they're going to grow the tax base, and that's pretty much what they said in the article. They're looking to grow the tax base, help this project get off the ground, and then again, we've got, you know, massive commercial space, all these new houses, all these new apartments, which we definitely need, new townhouses, and maybe a hotel. So ultimately, this should be a good investment for the city. I'm very excited to watch this project take shape, and I definitely will be doing a video as it gets a little further along. So if you made it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching. Please leave a comment. Feel free to weigh in on any of these topics, or if there's a topic you want me to cover. I definitely want your input. I appreciate every comment. Make sure you hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and we'll catch you on the next video.